Peace, family.
Peace, family. Peace to you and yours. Brother Red Pill, right back at you.
You already know, live and direct from an undisclosed location.
With another episode of the Warranting War Report.
Episode 2. Last time we got up about a week ago, things were beginning to heat up. The pot is on the stove and it's slow cooking. Shout out to all of my family in Brooklyn. Shout out to all of my family in NYC. Shout out to all of my family in the 5 boroughs undergoing what is known as either a biological attack or a radiation 5G attack or biological warfare, depending on what different region that you're in. But based off of the way that I begin to see things, I'm looking at the world through these rose-colored glasses.
Is the coronavirus divinely ordained?
There's a lot of biblical implications to the COVID-19 crisis. Case in point, the places in America where the COVID-19 begins to erupt and to take over, because now it's attacking mostly people with melanin and people with poor health care and whatnot. But Louisiana, one of the highest slave states. Baltimore, one of the highest slave states. New York, one of the slave ports by way of New York City. The fact that it features in the quote-unquote slave narratives. COVID-19 is also being identified by the president as a war.
We're at war. In a true sense, we're at war.
The COVID-19 is being treated as a silent and invisible enemy.
And we're fighting an invisible enemy. Think of that.
This war now has our people under siege. Under siege means stay at home. That's a nice way to say under siege. But when you put people under siege, they begin to break them. And when they break them, they make them vassals of the state. Vassals of the state means mandatory vaccination. Vassals of the state means the digital tattoo that MIT, Bill Gates, and Jared Kushner is pushing. The global lockdown, and the fact that we have some players on the stage right now. We have Bill Gates, we have Prince Charles, we have Prince Williams, we have Fauci, we have Trump. We have all of these characters. We have the WHO, we have FEMA, we have the Pope. Because remember, this whole thing started at Mass in Rome on New Year's when the Pope got grabbed by the Chinese lady. She wasn't Korean, I saw her eyes slant. When he got grabbed by her, how does China factor into prophecy? China is the great dragon. Where does Russia factor in? Russia's Magog. Where does Italy factor in? Italy is Rome. The coronavirus is what? Corona patron saint. Her name is Corona. The patron saint of pandemic's name is Corona. And where does she reside? In North Italy, which is Rome, which is Babylon. So Elijah Muhammad said that America's fallen. Not only do you see an epidemic or a plandemic by way of Bill Gates and the Bill and Melinda Foundation, who are in bed with MIT, who is in bed with Harvey Weinstein, who is in bed with Jeff Epstein. Pardon me, Epstein didn't kill himself. Who is in bed with all of these different people? All of the quote-unquote distractions that they're telling you that they're locking up people and whatnot. No, they have your name on the list. They have you on the quote-unquote rendition list. They have you on the censorship list. So what you're seeing right now is being orchestrated by the Christian Zionists. What you're seeing right now is being orchestrated by these quote-unquote evangelicals who have to have the prophecy fulfilled, the prophecy of the oncoming Messiah or the return of Jesus. They have to have calamities. They have to have pandemics. They have to have plagues. They have to have locusts. They have to have all of the things that you see. So the fact that they sat back and allowed people to die is because they needed the numbers in order for the prophecy to become true. Trump's base, who's still going to church right now because they're preparing them for church and they're talking crusade language. These are the militias. These are the quote-unquote people. Pay attention to the gentrifiers in your neighborhood. They have disappeared. They have gone inside. They are preparing themselves. An 800% increase in gun sales. Who are buying the guns? It ain't my niggas. Who got the Dracos? It ain't Drake. So they're preparing themselves, they're arming themselves. If the FEMA comes in, if they lock it down, if they National Guard this shit, if they begin to martial law it, if you're on the front line, if you know what they did to the revolutionaries, even if you know what they did in China, they basically disappeared a lot of their quote-unquote revolutionaries.
Crumb TV.